Excited for the weekend?
Yeah, I think it'll be another good test and see where we're at. And obviously, Coach Checketts and his group seem to be playing very well, 8-1, and scoring a lot of runs. And like I texted him this morning, hopefully we have some special Eugene weather to remind him of how great it is to play up here in the Northwest. And he's anxious to come up here.
You mentioned the way they're hitting. You imagine it'll be kind of strength on strength with the way your starters threw last week and the way they've been hitting the ball.
Yeah, I think it's a small sample, of what kind of offensive team they're going to be, and I look at they've probably given up a few more runs than he's accustomed to, but they're sure scoring a lot of runs, including against the UCLA pitching staff in their last outing. So the small sampling is that we're not hitting and they are, and I've been really pleased with our pitching, starting pitching especially, and of course Nagosic has been lights out, and hopefully we can reveal some other guys on the mound that seem to be in character, and wish we were playing a little better defense, to be honest with you, but 4 of those errors are from the mound, or 5 of the errors are from the mound, excuse me. So we've got to, as well as we're pitching, we've got to be able to do the other things as well.
I mean, there was a lot of attention on your starters for good reason coming into the year. They set the bar high. Just how close week in, week out do you think they can be to just the way they threw the ball? Maybe not necessarily the statistical results, but the way they threw the ball last week. Is that what you expect now, week over week, or was that?
Well, yeah, but those are high expectations. We knew high expectations were going in. I quite frankly, I think they're ahead of where I thought they would be at this point, because, as we know, a couple of them didn't have tremendous falls, and but they've been very consistent. And the other thing is, you rely on those guys to set the defensive tempo, and besides the results, I think their demeanor and their mentality and tempo and a lot of things that they can serve as good examples to the young pitchers that aren't getting out there. They've done a very good job of handling that part of it. So to say I'm pleased is very accurate.
After the first 2 weeks of the season, anyone stand out, offensively or defensively, or just all-around game?
Well, I don't think anybody's really at their level offensively yet, but then, it's been you got to look at I thought Illinois State pitched us very well, and it was here, and this is a tough ballpark to put up gaudy numbers in, and we gauge a lot of our, baseball's statistical sport, but we gauge a lot of our offense success on plus and minuses, so there's a lot of that going on, and we're moving runners, and Danny Patzlaff has probably gotten off to a good start, and then there's a couple others that, like St. Louis, for instance, has crushed the ball but doesn't have much to show for it. We're not disappointed that he doesn't have a whole bunch of hits, because he's hit the ball extremely hard. And so I think that, again, it's a small sampling. We believe in our offense. I think that it'll be there, and I'm not sure we're going to look forward to this weekend against Coach Checketts' pitchers, because he's awfully good at doing that. There's a reason I hired him here, and that isn't a season or a series you go, oh good, we're going to play Santa Barbara here at PK Park, we're going to pad our batting averages. It's not one of those deals, but who knows? It's baseball, anything can happen.
Their Friday guy, you guys hit a little bit last year, but it's so long ago now. Is there any potential?
Yeah, I thought he was really crafty. Even though we did hit him, I thought we were really on it offensively last year, and I think there's a reason he's their Friday guy. I think he's real good. I think he's experienced and has some savviness, and he's not a guy that's going to blow you away, but he's a good pitcher.
Has Coach Checketts been pleasantly surprised with how his team started this season? I mean, I think many thought it could be a rebuilding year for the Gauchos. Has he been a little surprised with what he's seen out of his guys?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him. I would say, if you're 8-1, any coach, whether it's rebuilding or not, is the only thing better than that's 9-0. So I think he's got to be pleased. Just like us, there's some areas that we think we're handling very well, and there's some areas that we need to improve on, and that's what early season does for you, is you try to identify areas of strengths and weaknesses and try to get better each and every week and prepare for him the gauntlet of the Big West, and for us the gauntlet of the Pac-12.
Going against a team like UC Santa Barbara, will you be able to sense more of your strengths and weaknesses than against the past opponents?
I would think so going into it. They're very well coached. The guy that runs the offense played for me, and so of course I'm going to agree with a lot of things he does. I don't know if that's excellence or not, but Neil Walton was a smart baseball player when he played for me, and we played against them last year. That was fun. That part of it's fun, and they look like they're figuring out a way to touch that base that's a different shape for sure. They're scoring a lot of runs.
How close did you get to pay attention to that UCLA game, and do you take anything you were able to take from that?
No, I didn't. I wasn't watching it, streaming it, or doing any of that stuff. But as I said many times before, our video guys, staff here provides us with tape, and my assistants do a great job of watching tape and providing me with scouting reports. And not that I'm the busiest human being in the world, but that's their role, and we stay with that role, and I trust it, and it's been a good formula. So I did look a little tape. But I'm going to fire my video staff because the tape that I've seen so far is from 2 years ago. So that there's not very many guys left on that tape to watch.
Patslav, Graybeck, they've started off hitting the ball pretty well. Are they? Is that sort of they're seeing the ball well, they're picking their spots well, or is that luck to do with that?
Oh, I don't think it's luck. I think luck is when preparation meets opportunity. You know, you create your own luck, whether it's a dinker or you put the ball in play. And I think Graybeck has filled his role as a leadoff hitter very effectively, and when he not just by getting hits, but walking and getting on base and getting hit by pitches, and that's what a leadoff hitter is supposed to do, is get on base and let the other guys drive him in. And Grabes has been a clutch player in the past, and hopefully he'll build on his last 2 years and have a tremendous junior year. And Patslav did not have a good offensive year last year when he got to play, and didn't have a very good fall, quite frankly. But something clicked in him over the holidays, and he came back, and from that point forward has got it from both sides of the plate, and having quality at bats and hitting ninth. That's another secondary leadoff hitter, as most guys will tell you in a DH lineup, that when the lineup flips over, that 9 guy becomes a leadoff guy, and your 2, 3, and 4 guys come up with that guy on base. So Danny's doing a nice job, and we've got some guys on the bench that did a nice job. Uriste did a nice job, and he's not getting to play a whole lot. So those 2 guys in particular. Now we hope to get some of the other guys, middle of the order guys, on track and get them where their psyche and confidence is a little higher, and they're good players. And we try to convince them that if you believe in yourself, the hits are going to be out there. You just can't start inventing batting stances and all those kind of things. And that's the discipline of staying with it and sticking with it. And it's like Stephen Curry being in a shooting slump. Those don't last very, very long, if there is such a thing for him. And that's a lot of that's mentality with him.
You mentioned that a little frustrated with the offensive output. Is it more so situations like St. Louis where he's stinging the ball but it's right at guys, or are there some bad at-bats taking place right now?
We've had some giveaway at-bats. That's kind of our disappointment, that they train well. They train for complete college hitting. The fundamentals, their stroke shows up every day in batting practice and the PDA, as we say, and the house out there. And then they get in the game and they get a little over anxious, and we think that a lot of them are getting themselves out. And again, is that quality pitches, or is it getting themselves out? And you go back and look at it on tape, and it has been too frequently a case of them getting themselves out. They're rolling over, or they're early, or specifically in San Diego, we thought we were extremely early. A lot of the guys, not all of them, of course, and didn't hit the ball where it's pitched. That sounds very simple, but that's what good hitters do. They hit the ball where it's supposed to be hit, and you can't just go up there pulling college pitchers, or you're going to have a tough time of it, we think.
Somebody like Ureste or Karaviotis, he's trying to work his way back. How hard of a lineup is it to crack right now? You were pretty stable last week.
Well, there's some weakness to it. That's the other part of it. Is those guys are sitting there chomping at the bit, and the guy in front of them's not hitting, or defensively not doing it, or whatever the case is. It's always a hard pill to swallow when you have to take a secondary approach, and when the guy in front of you is not doing well, it's even hard. It's a bigger pill to swallow. So, we don't want to change lineups like the wind, and we want to show confidence in the guys that earn the right to start. And what's the tipping point? At what point do you give another guy an opportunity? And unfortunately, we haven't had a lot of lopsided games where the at-bats get more frequent, and now guys can come in late. We had some of that in San Diego, where some guys came off the bench, and last weekend here were all tight games, and we felt like we needed to stay with our guys and make some defensive replacements to win the game. So,
you mentioned Karaviotis and Ureste trying to make it back. What do you want to see from the freshmen that are in those spots right now? What are they going to have to do to hold on to that?
Well, they're in there for a reason. They're very good players. They're very confident. They have not gone on track, but like let's take Travis Monroe, who hasn't hit a whole lot. He's winning, helping us win in different ways, playing very good defense, showing some leadership. Coach Ullman expressed to me that he's mature beyond his years, that we move guys around defensively in our scheme, and he's ahead of things, which is a tribute to his mental capabilities, his instincts, and remember. And that's one of the reasons that he's our shortstop, is he's mature beyond his years there. Now the hits are a confidence thing. Does he believe he's a Division I hitter? And it's more up to him than it is anything else to believe that. We think he's a tremendous hitter. It's just got to start revealing itself.